Hello. Now we're going to learn how to put any font on the game. So say you wanted to check out the fonts. If I just Googled free fonts here, and I got this page that says 1001 free fonts. And I looked around for a little bit, and I found some fonts. Let's pick this font, and we can click download and uh, and then this will download onto my computer. And one thing that we need to keep in mind is this, wherever this downloads, it has to be in the same location as where my pygame game is at. So I have it here. I got to move it to my folder that says pygame. Yours is going to be on the Raspberry Pi, so you just have to make sure the folder lines up with what you need. And then we need to look at the name here. Uh, it's Chintzy CPU. Let's see the rename. Oh, and it's probably .tff. I just need to see the full name here. Oh, all right, so now I realize I have to open this and then move these files to where I need them. So in Pygame, and it's a TTFF. All right, so now they should be in here. Wonderful. So now we want to go to Python and uh, we have to do import pygame dot um, free type. So now we can initialize it. Pygame dot free type dot init, and there we go. And then we're gonna uh, we need to kind of load in the the data. So we can call it font1 is equal to um, it's pygame dot free type diet font, and now we have to get the name of the file. Uh, Now my file's name is chintz.ttf, and we're gonna let's make it size 60 font. So that's our font one. So now when we come down here, when we lose the game, let's have it say game over. Now I could use some math to try to figure this out, but let's try to just throw it in a location. So let's say font1 dot render to render to, and then we're going to put it on the surface. And then we have to think about the other variables. So we got to think about where we're going to put this. Let's put this at 200, 300. So this should hopefully be somewhere near the middle of the screen. And let's say, have it say game over. Oh, I was going to throw some exclamation bars in there. And then let's have it be white. So white's 255, 255, 255. All right, I think this should work. Oh, the one problem with this is the game's gonna quit here right after this. So let's just do time dot or pygame dot time dot delay. Let's have it for 1,000 milliseconds. And so this is just checking to see if the font even shows up. All right, the game's starting up and I die. Oh, and there it says game over. It wasn't perfect, I think I could have moved a little bit further to the right, but it's not so bad. So let's add like 225. Maybe let's bring this up a little bit to 250. Uh, and now what we could do once this is done, before we say game over, we can say surface dot fill, and let's fill it with black, and then it says game over, and then we're gonna delay for a minute or 1,000 milliseconds, so like a second, and then let's start the X and Y back at 250. All right, so let's see how this goes. All right, oh, I didn't want to hit that. Let's have it go to the bottom. There we go. Oh, it didn't. Does it just do that really quickly? The surface dot fill. Let's. So if we render it, that should stay for 1,000 milliseconds. So we should have been able to see it. Let's try this one more time. So it goes down. Still, we're not seeing it. Um, Something is haywire here. All right, I figured out my error. I was filling the surface black and then having this say game over, but I wasn't displaying, I wasn't updating the display. So usually we have the pygame.display.update at the bottom, but if I'm going to delay this for a little bit, it's not going to update this information until here, and I'm not getting to there. So we'll just throw a pygame.display update there, and then after we sit for a second, let's put these back at 250. Where was I? Here we are. And now, if I run it with this information, this is what happens. And game over, and then it starts up again.